Hello, everybody, and hopefully you're having a great Sunday. Welcome to another stream. And just as a quick update from yesterday, I'm still trying to work out the way the player gets attached to the plane. Like at the plane entrance sequence. And I have a couple of ideas. I'll try and apply them later on this afternoon. But I did manage to get the one thing that we were working towards the end of the day yesterday on. On the kind of the audio transition between, like, we had this entrance into, like, the entrance to the bunker, and trying to get this one to work, kind of decreasing the volume from the exterior, like the forest sounds, and increasing the volume of the interior. In this case, it's kind of um, like a cave noise, wind kind of thing, at least the one that I currently have in place for this, for prototyping this. Um, so let's take a quick look at how that is looking at the moment. And 1 second here. All right, so let me turn on the audio in um, like the desktop audio in uh, OBS. All right, let's take a look. So, just jumping into game mode. All right, so let me see. Hopefully you can hear the, just gonna try and move the OBS thing to the side to see if the audio's coming in. Ah, come on. All right, so it looks like it's registering some audio. I can crank it up a little bit. And so that's the outside, right? And as you move in closer, I've actually made some changes to this blueprint, and we can go over them. Um, so I did end up making use of the exterior and the interior collision volumes. And also you can see, like, the spheres, I can position them at construction. So what happens now, all right, so now we're completely transitioned to the interior interior audio. Now if we go back outside, hopefully you can start hearing, like, the bird chirps and, like, the bird noises. Now the interior volume starts decreasing, as with the distance between these two spheres, and decreasing even more. And now everything transitioned over the um, to the exterior audio, so like the birds chirping and whatnot. So, if you were to go at kind of just a run speed, and then back out. And there you go. So I think it turned out quite a bit smoother than what was happening yesterday. But so some of the changes were, I am making use of this exterior box, and also let's see, maybe if I can just move it out here for a little bit. And there's also the interior box. So basically what's happening is I am registering a variable when when I'm over it on the exterior box. So that way, and as you can see, these overlap. So if we go into, there's kind of some particle here, but you can see that these overlap. So at the time that I'm inside of this transition box, I also know that so when I start overlapping, say I'm coming from the interior going outside. When I'm overlapping with this transition box, I already know that I'm in the interior box location. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start playing at volume 0 the sound from the outside. And as I move closer onto the entrance point location, I'm going to start increasing that one and decreasing the interior sound. The same goes for this. When I'm over here, so I'm overlapping with the exterior box, and then as I'm overlapping with the transition box, I'm going to start playing at volume 0 again, the interior sound. As I move closer to this, I'm going to increase that volume. If I decide to, go back outside and end overlap with this box the same way here. So say, I don't want to go inside the cave bunker anymore. Once I end overlap with this box and I'm outside of the transition, I'm stopping the interior sound. So that's basically how it works. Hopefully that made sense. It was a little bit of, a few attempts that I went about doing it. But this is how I ended up getting this result you just saw. So yeah, hopefully that's useful for somebody. All right. So with that said, I wish I had something more like Blueprint related for today, but what I was thinking of doing is actually adding one of the last locations that is going to be in this world, and that is this mansion, kind of where one of the top bad guys lives at, and so the placement for that is somewhere in these hills back behind the city, or not the city, but the town. Namely, somewhere around here is where I was envisioning the placement for this mansion. So let me add that into the ever-growing list of levels, and we can play around with it, kind of just a placement, and also showing you that environment as well, because it's almost completely built as far as that goes. But they're just like the placement and connecting it to the road and that kind of urban civil engineering part of the world design. So let me find it here. And also the other thing that I wanted to try is one of the missions inside of the bunker that's going to be given to you um, by one of the friendly NPCs is to turn on a pump to pump out the water that has flooded like one of the sublevels. And I wanted to see how the environment looks with that water volume, just to test it out and see how things look there. But let me add the level here, like uh, the uh, the mansion. So let me find that. Let's see, where is that one? Mansion, could it be mansion level? Let me try opening that up first, just to make sure that I got the right one. All right, and this one actually has its own, the way I had it the first time I put this together, it had its own landscape and all that, so it didn't really make sense, it doesn't really make sense at this time to follow that up the same way. So what I'm gonna try and keep is, of course, the usage of like the fencing and to surround the property. Uh, Probably some of these kind of these rock meshes surrounding it, so we can sculpt around it. And these could be pretty useful around here. Um, Also, this this bridge that I have in here, I'm going to use that to kind of help with that transition, or, not necessarily transition, but just signifying that, it's kind of like closer to the edge of the level, so to speak. And but yeah, as far as the terrain, we're just going to use the terrain from the current world. But in the meantime, I'm just going to try and remove the foliage actors. And we can also get rid of whatever this is, procedural large trees. Get rid of that. The one thing that I'm a little bummed out is that this landscape has some landscape splines, and I'm gonna lose them, but that's okay. That's not that big of a issue. Let's see. All right, so let's get rid of the landscape. Um, what else? I think that's fine. Some of these rocks I might not end up using here. Some of these, the shader got a little funky with, I probably got oversaturated or something. But okay, so that's pretty much part of the mansion. That, like, I need to move some things into this level as well, because this one, let's see. I do have some smaller levels here, for like the exterior assets, and I'm trying to figure out where those are. Those particular, oh, are they all the way over there? Let me try doing that again. Okay, there's a number of assets, but oh, they might be down here. I think something got moved around, and they all got kind of funky. Yeah, so this is it. This is all the assets that I need here. Not sure how they ended up below the level, but let's fix that. Let's move this in place. Hopefully we didn't blow past the world level. Yeah. Let's try and adjust this. Come on, almost there. We can sculpt the terrain around it a little bit. All right, so we have that. Let me try selecting this one more time. And there's also this thing here. Oh, this is the sky, which I don't really need in here. Oh, I did have multiple from this lighting level. So I have the lighting level, like everything related to lighting on a separate level. And that's what it was having a little bit of a fit. So let's see, there's this one. Okay, it's acting as appropriately. And I'm just going to remove this. All right, and let's do a little bit of cleanup here, because I also have, this was kind of the original design that I had, or at least partial, before starting to use, like a little bit more unified assets with the mega scans. This one was looking okay-ish. Was just wasn't really, uh, you know, didn't feel like mansion-y, felt kind of new type thing. So I'm just gonna get rid of some of this. But let me hide the exterior stuff and try and get rid of some of this. All right, so there's that. And instead of deleting them, I'm just going to create like a um, temp level here. So we can, we can still keep that setup. Um, just going to move it into that level. And now we can just remove it from the list. Remove selected, yes. Okay. So now we have some of the mansion entrance. I still need to work out the exterior assets. It's just like a marketplace package that I got for like reference purposes to build the interior because usually with it's kind of one of those things where the interior doesn't necessarily need to match the exterior from an architectural standpoint. There's definitely going to be areas that you're not going to be able to enter. So um, you know, that's why some parts, like you see around here, there's kind of like interior walls that uh, poke through the exterior walls. So some of these areas I can like, mask them on the inside as well as, adjust the exterior walls a little bit better. So that's always easy to do. But yeah, mostly for placeholder and then the interior kind of basement down here as well. But with a few of the rooms and some of the kind of the maintenance rooms back here. Hey, Helion, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, so let's add this in. I'm just gonna go into unlit because I deleted the the, the lighting level. Uh, and let's try and see which ones this interior mega scans. I'm not sure if this one has anything in it. Apparently not, so off it goes. Oh, hey, so hi, do you model all static meshes? I do for some. Most of them are a combination of marketplace assets, of Megascan assets. Like I said, some of them that I made myself. But again, based on needs, like a lot of the stuff that I need, I was able to find on the marketplace. Um, like take for example down here in the basement. You probably if you're familiar with some of the marketplace assets, you might down here there is none. Um, like this is for example something that I made. This washing machine. Um, let's see. A bunch of these textures come from Megascans. I've redone some of the shaders for those. This is, for example, from CG Trader. Um, yeah, so it's definitely a mixture of things. This is a couch that uh, it was like a combination of Sketchfab and me texturing it, like retexturing it and, building the normal. So there's also that, there's also the Sketchfab assets that I end up retexturing and making some changes. So that's the base point, start point is there, but then I just, end up tweaking those. So um, and once in here, for example, these are some Megascans at or marketplace assets for some of this piping. Um, this is something that actually that I made, for some of these lockers where you can hide in. Um, yeah. So like I said, um, I do have uh, whenever I want to make something, especially for the bunker, a lot of the stuff in there, when it came to the architecture, I ended up making myself. But stuff like this is it's kind of hard to tell. Um, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I wish I could pronounce your name, but I'm not gonna try. And thank you for joining. Okay, well, so let's see. We have everything we need for the mansion area. There's like the exterior assets, uh, which is that, like the walls. And that's another thing that I wanted to mention, like the way I'm setting up some of these uh, mini levels, so to speak. Like I have an exterior assets, like for exterior walls, and then the interior assets. Because with that, for the exterior assets, you can either merge everything together into one building for exterior, and then in the interior, um, oh, yin yang. Okay, yeah, there we go. Hopefully that came across uh, as it should. So yeah, so I have, and then like I was saying, for the interior assets, what I like to do is I actually build HLODs, so that way, if you're somewhere at this distance inside of this, they could be like um, uh, an entire area that is just, uh, through the HLODs is just one object. So that's good to have HLODs. Okay, well, I think I have everything I need here. So there's the persistent level and all its little pieces. Let me save that. And let's jump into the main world here. And yeah, for those of you that just joined and were also kind of on the stream yesterday, I can show you the little transition audio between like exterior and interior. In this case, it's kind of entering the bunker parking garage and kind of how the audio transitions from the outside, foresty sounds to the interior, which is like a cave wind type of sound. So let me know, I can show you that. I've shown it. I usually show the updates at the beginning of the stream when there's nobody. Sometimes there's nobody there, but um, I can show it throughout the stream as well. So let me know. Okay, let's add this mansion area along with its pieces. Hopefully we'll be able to move them somewhat easily. This is, I think, the last level that has a ton of actors in it. There's another one that's a little bit smaller with not so many. Oh, Guru, well, I appreciate that. No, this is just a hobby. It's literally I have not put out uh, any games or any games or anything like that. So yeah. Okay, let's add this in mansion. Yeah, well, it is. I know that I have friends that have worked or are currently working in the industry, and it is a very stressful kind of industry, like especially when you work with somebody that has some um, goals and targets to hit, and they get down to um, to the release, and it things get crazy. Like I was talking to him at one point, and they were getting to release some kind of pretty big name for a video game, and it was just the crunch was just crazy. So yeah, literally the thing with working on your own, like the name of the game, um, sometimes I'm okay with. So it is difficult, it is challenging, it is a lot of work, but yeah, it also feels good. And thank you for the kind words. All right, let's try and bring some of this stuff back into here. Luckily, there's only like not that many actors, which is great. And I'm still far from optimizing anything in here. There's still way too many actors. There's a ton of actors that that can be merged. Like small actors that are bunched up together. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's and like I said, luckily there is the marketplace has such a lot of like a lot of usage, a lot of useful things. And yeah, this map, it's definitely far from what it started off with from the original developer, but being able to use the assets, like the trees that I like, that's great. Come on, we can do this. Ah, there we go. They got moved. They moved. All right, so I'm gonna try and focus everything on the placement of the house first. And for that, let me try and select one of the pieces here so I can move the cursor to it. And then we'll see exactly what we can keep from all these natural assets. Not sure how many, but the good part about this position is that I was thinking of with that bridge, um, you know, kind of keeping having a way to show there's a river feeding this little water body here. So we got this little lake here, but having that little river that I shown earlier in the map should be pretty nice to have. And of course, with the little bridge. But where is the bridge? Let me try and find it before I start sculpting. And also what I think I'm gonna be doing is, let me delete these two or at least move them out of the level. Having this extra render stuff here is just probably taking forever. Oh, hey, Darkside, welcome, welcome. Um, so it's we're actually today I'm gonna add one of the last levels that are part of the world. This being this mansion area where kind of one of the um, negative characters of the game resides at. So adding this in right now. So Yin Yang, what do you need to know? I can give you some details on what the setup of it is. Okay, let me try and get this thing into place. Maybe I should try and select um, let me do that first. So locker, mansion interior. I think this is actually the one of the ones that I'm looking for. The locker door. Oh, the material nodes. Yes, of course. I can quickly show you some of that. Let's see. So, oh yeah, the wavy. Yeah, let me get this into place and I'll show you. All right. So, I'm just gonna delete these for now. I can re-add them. Oh yeah, of course. This is the other one. Also this one doesn't have the camera, so it should be fine. Okay, and then the interactive arcade. Let's just move it to the, nah, I'm just gonna delete it. There we go. Okay. So let's see if we can move these things around a little bit easier now that, well, the camera definitely moves a lot quicker. And I'm hoping we'll be able to move everything a little bit easier too. So let me try and find where that bridge is. Just flying a little bit under the map here. Where's the bridge? Should be down this way, I'm thinking. If I recall correctly with the way this map is set up. So, oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're kind of flipped around here. Let's see if we can get this to align it with the road. Come on. That's almost there. I just wanted to also put a little bit of music in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys, let me know. Okay, well, let's try and get this as close as possible to this road here. And yeah, there's definitely going to be some things that I got to get deleted, but that bridge. Oh, yep, it's almost at the right place. Just try and move it somewhere about where the road is. Come on, just a little bit. Oh yeah, we are getting closer with this. Oh, it's a little too loud. Let me turn that down. I'll turn it down from OBS. Let me know if it's better now. Oh, okay. Well, no, I was just let me see. I'm trying to get a good audio to see you can hear me and also kind of just a little bit of music in the background. Just if I, because like if I do pauses at times and not say anything, uh, you know, at least there's no dead silence. So let me know if this one sounds a little bit better, or not better, but like um, that you can actually hear it. Let's try and get this a little closer. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, that one almost overlaps, so I think that's a good spot right there. Let me see where the mansion is compared to the road. And the mansion is actually pretty well positioned over there. kind of off the main road, which is somewhere around here, I think underneath these rocks somewhere that I'm gonna need to remove. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay, so that's good. That's good. I can actually rotate these to try and match, even though it might not matter that much. I can just move the, let's see, where's the water body? It's over there. Um, yeah, so the game is it's an action adventure type of game, and it's a first person shooter. First person game. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight. Yeah, that's the main thing that I did, especially because this is an area of interest, so I wanted to make it as interesting as possible, right? That was one of the goals. Okay, well that's a little too much, so let's just. Well, yeah, exactly. That's one of the inspirations that I got from. It's Far Cry 5 was a game that I really enjoyed playing, and this is kind of the type of environment that I enjoy. The types of trees, like the conifers, the types of trees I like. Um, the world itself, kind of like this. So if you think of Days Gone or Far Cry 5, then yeah. Yes, Gitish. I mean, co-op, that'd be awesome, but it's kind of it's a pretty big lift, to do co-op. It's, you know, I'm not, um, it's not something that I'm like, okay, you know what, definitely not. But yeah, it's um, probably not for version one. All right, so trying to get this ridge in here as close as I possibly can. I think about there might be okay-ish. Let's see. It's almost in place. Let me save this real quick before Unreal crashes. All right, let's try and lower it down a little bit. I'm gonna get one from Steam. Yeah, definitely. Far Cry 5 was I played like I think the first Far Cry, which was like on CryEngine, and then I've tried like Far Cry 3, and it's I don't think I'm unsure why it didn't stick, but Far Cry 5 was just like really really nice, like set up in Montana, the whole cult kind of thing going on. That was a good, and the scenario was really well made. I think at least that's what I thought. So I really enjoyed it. And the mechanics of Far Cry is like they're always fun. Flying helicopters, airplanes, cars, mini quad bikes, whatever. Foreman official, would you recommend C++ or Blueprint? I mean, I guess it depends. That's a good question. I have not. I've done C++ for CryEngine, and as a single developer, moving to Blueprints, um, my speed just shot up like exponentially. Like I was able to do things a lot quicker. Um, as far as performance, I guess performance would depend on the size of your project. I think if it's like for me, for the size of my project, I think Blueprints is perfectly fine. So um, yeah, co-op DLC on its millionth. You know what, Gitish? If I get past 10,000 copies. That might be a good point to like think about a co-op. That I mean, um, this is very much wishful thinking kind of speech. So hopefully that'd be awesome if possible. Um, oh, so Yin Yang, yes. I'm gonna definitely I've been live streaming this process uh, for years, I think now, or at least as much as possible, through CryEngine days but now doing it on YouTube is more. I'm doing it more on a schedule, so hopefully it's easier. But to get back to Forbin, sorry about that sidetrack. Um, yeah, so like I said, for a project my size, I think Blueprint is I'm totally fine with it. So yeah, again, depends on the size of your team, the experience on your team. If you have people on your team that know C++ and they're quicker with C++, then by all means. It's just the fact with blueprints is I think most people or all people know blueprints, but not all people know C++. So, say a member of your team leaves, that's going to be tough if he's done only C++ and you only have people knowing blueprints. So that's one thing to consider, I guess. CryEngine animation system is a bit complicated versus Unreal Animation. You know what? If I recall correctly, they're about the same. Um, I, with Unreal, you have the ability to tweak shaders, and I do that quite a lot. And so, that's one thing to consider. Yeah. But I haven't noticed when it comes to like actual placement and like the editor itself, I don't think there's a lot of difference. They also have like the layer type of painting for vegetation and yeah, so all in all, I don't think they have the procedural setup. Like mine is procedural, like everything is procedural placed. I don't have any hand painted things in here. I'm not sure if they have procedural stuff the way Unreal has it. So then again, it's been years since I've used CryEngine. Gitesh, indeed. Dream big, it's free. Totally, yeah. What about Blueprint with nativization? That could be because well, I think that's what Forbin was asking as well. Like you uh, nativizing blueprints when you create them that way, I think, right? So CryEngine, I believe so. I mean, like I said, I haven't used it or I haven't checked on it in forever. So I, yeah, I couldn't tell you that part. But I believe so. I don't think a lot of their changes, from what I could tell, were like UI changes, and that's again one of the things that um, that pulls CryEngine down, compared to every other engine out there. Uh, and I think a lot of people like Unreal because of blueprints and how easy they are. Aside from that, like having all the documentation that Unreal has, yeah. Um, Unfortunately, with CryEngine's team being so small, you hardly ever see like I'm subscribed to their channel on YouTube, and their videos are like, they're not when it comes to like learning videos, they're very few and far in between. So yeah, I think they're trying, but they're never gonna catch up with Unreal. Let's be honest there. Um, I mean, and I definitely enjoyed the engine. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, if you want to make a video game, you know, especially if you're on a small team or you have a certain budget, yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. So, um, all right, let me clean up some of these big rocks around here. Well, and it's not necessarily that it's from Germany. They've done a bunch of wrong steps at the wrong times, and the lack of documentation is really killing it. Um, so unfortunately, that's the thing. And you know, I get it. They probably only have less than a fraction of the money that Epic makes, and of course, there's only so much that you can do. Um, so that's why it makes it tough. All right. Well, let me remove these big ones here as well. I might actually try and use them back here, at least for now. There we go. Trying to make use of some of these assets. And of course, these ones can actually go into the map itself. Yeah, and they have open source as well, but I think when it comes to licensing also, Epic does it really well, especially for like independent developers like myself, for example. Um, yeah, so being able to to keep a little bit more money in your pocket, that's always helpful. And that's a big thing that people need to consider when you pick up a game engine. Like well, how much is this? I'm gonna be working on a game. I have a certain budget. Again, if you're not like me and you just work in your spare time, but um, when I get to publish the game, how much is that gonna cost me? Or like how much money am I gonna have to pay uh, to to whoever makes the engine? Um, yes, I'm actually Romanian, but yeah, I do live in the U.S. but I'm Romanian. Okay, what's happening here? I thought that this one should be lowered a little bit more. Okay. Well, so I do have, you can drive a car, but I don't have. It's not like a racing game where you like have to smash into it. At that point, it's not like it's not like Far Cry where you can actually, shoot at other cars and smash into other cars. Yeah, I mean that was definitely a fun mechanic. I really enjoyed that, but it's a lot of work behind something like that. And even just behind a simple car, there's a lot of work. Like when I first was talking in an earlier stream, when I first did it, I didn't think of I actually ran into the lake with the car, and I'm like, okay, nothing happens. Okay, there's another mechanic that I have to think about and actually implement. So yeah. All right, let me see if I can find this blind point wherever it is. Yeah, well, and so again, this is an example of something that I made, this bridge, because I couldn't find any bridges out there that were like that I kind of liked. So I just looked up some designs, and I think I found like an example on Sketchfab as well that I was looking at. So some of these kind of just these old metal bridges type of thing. Yeah, definitely. At least in the U.S., you see a bunch of these. There's like a ton of these bridges. Oh, hey, Infinito, welcome. Well, yeah. I started off with something that I saw on Sketchfab, and it was a really nice asset. I think I'm not sure if it was pretty similar to this, and that's what I got the design from. But it was like really um, like a very high poly or I don't know. I can't remember what I didn't like about the mesh itself. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna try and make one just like it or so sort of like it, and ended up with this. It's still just like probably not the best looking thing out there. Some of the materials could be done a little bit better, but as a starting point, there's like the structure itself. No, actually, this one just has regular textures. It's just UV unwrapped, and then because as you can see, there's nothing really awesome about it. Yeah, the textures work out okay, but again, it's not the highest quality of things. It works. In the end, I'm glad that that it works out. All right, so I'm gonna try and get this road a little bit lower, just so that I can bring the bridge a little bit lower. And by the way, these are awesome. The landscape splines, being able to sculpt the terrain like this, it's totally cool. Airway, the material itself originally was from this package that I have named the Nordic Conifer Biome. But I ended up tweaking it to add an extra layer, also to change up the way the grasses are shown, and also to add runtime virtual textures because it didn't have that. So so yeah, I did have a starting point. Don't get me wrong, it's not all me. I was thinking of using the landscape material that I had made through the tutorials that I have on my channel. But I thought, you know what? I like this one the way it's set up. It already has the grasses, everything is in place. The landscape is already painted. It's got some of these paths going in and out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna use it. I'm just gonna use it like that. And in the end, it's just the material. Oh, nice. Oh, I appreciate that, Infinity. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. And again, no, there is no dynamic weather. There is just, at least at this point, at least at this point. But uh, I am thinking of the ability to change the times of day. That is something that I'm thinking of. Probably for the first release, it's just going to be this clear sky. Come on. There we go. Almost. Almost there. Yeah, because the main thing with that is, changing it could introduce a lot of other things to think about with the interiors and handling rain, so the rain doesn't go into the interiors. So there is just it kind of it can add a little bit of, definitely going to add more work, which there's already plenty to do. But I mean, it's a cool thing. Totally. I've all the games that I've played and had different, like again, say Days Gone comes to mind because that's also done with Unreal. So that's kind of the closest approximation that I can come up with. And you know, so Atlam, hi. When you just talked about RVT, do you know how to not lose any visual quality? I see the resolution is lower even if I change it to max. Well, yeah, so a good part of that also depends on the mesh. Like, I can show you an example. Let me think of where might I have a mesh that's running with RVT. Okay, yeah, let me show you. So I'm gonna try and go into the bunker here, like at the bunker entrance. There's a couple of meshes here that are using RVT. So for example, these ones, let's see, like this one here. Let me just actually try and find a singular mesh. Where is this poison tank at? That's... Okay, so take this one for example. Oops, come on. So this one is using RVT, as you can see. And this landscape in particular is pretty small. But let's look at the one outside. This one is really, it's kind of 2 by 2 kilometers. So let's take a look at where do I have a mesh that is actually blending with the terrain, or at least that I can turn it on. And also just to look at runtime virtual texture volumes. So this one here is for the bunker, and then this one's for the exterior. And this one I have it set to 4K. Or actually no, wait. So which one's the? Yeah, I think it's this is the size of it. But let me see if I can find one of the another one that has runtime virtual textures enabled. Oh shoot, I'm on the water. Water body. Let's see, there's some debris around here that I believe might have runtime virtual text. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me turn this around a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. There. Let me catch up with some of the messages. Mac Hardy, yeah, Ultra Dynamic. I was thinking about that. And I'll probably take a look at it because I think I might have that. I think I might have the Ultra Dynamics guy. You know, it was probably on a sale or something like that. Yin Yang, so what about the NMEI plan? Yeah, I'm using the Unreal built AI that I've made some from scratch for the current AI. You know, that's something that I want to learn, so that's why I'm trying to just build it up myself. Um, okay, so Adlam, this is like one of these. I think this one in particular here is using runtime virtual textures. And you can see even in my case, there's a little bit of, it does lose a little bit of resolution between, let me try and kind of zoom in a little closer, like between uh, the terrain and this one. The main thing, and one thing that really matters, and I've noticed, is also the mesh itself. Like this one, as you can see, it's scaled up 5 times, which is pretty big for especially for a scan mesh. And if I was to use this and make it actually just maybe 2, you'll see that this one seems a little bit sharper, at least to me. So when it comes to the transition, see? So okay, so you were saying it's not the landscape plane RVT. Look at the layer and turn it off and see the quality boost. On example, the rock layer. Not sure I follow. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And sometimes this stuff happens. I just need to kind of move these up and down a little bit so that that texture is gets regenerated a little bit. There we go. Oh, so hopefully I guess you kind of answered your question. Uh, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back into to this road here. And following the road, there's the mansion back there. This is the bridge, and we're gonna sculpt the terrain around here a little bit. And this is gonna be a little interesting because I do have this road, so I might need to kind of delete some of the spline points. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier, I want to give credit where credit is due because it did start, the map did start off from this Nordic conifer biome package. And, I just started changing it. So I did have a starting point, I didn't start from scratch. A lot of these, like some of these pawns were there from the original developer. And yeah, credit where credit is due. No, this is game game dev in action. Yeah, it's not just landscaping. Earlier, like right at the beginning of the stream, I was showing the transition, something that I've worked on from yesterday's stream on to today, about the transition of from outside to inside and addressing the sound, like having a sound that's playing outside and, kind of like a bird sound and then going inside the bunker or inside the cave and actually transitioning, lowering the sound from the outside and increasing the sound inside and then just playing the sound inside and then going back outside. Hopefully I'm, talking so quickly it made sense in my head. Hopefully it made sense for you. But stuff like that. Also we did something with the lake and the water if you want to see how the swimming works as well, or like shooting the bow and putting down some enemies. I can show you some of that. Andre, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello and hello. All right. Well, let's oh, appreciate that, Ying Yang. Thank you. Thank you for the subscribe. That's one of the, again, I think I mentioned it before. That's one of the things that I never really got used to doing, or I'm probably not gonna do. The whole thing of liking, sharing, subscribing, or no, liking, commenting, subscribing. Perfect if you want to do that, but again, I usually don't say it. But whenever people say subscribe, I'm like, okay, that comes to mind. All right, let's get to this. Let's get some of these points, and I'm gonna need to delete them all the way up to where we start the bridge. Um, oh, that's actually just Atlam if you were referring to the right at the bottom of the wall, that was just the wall mesh wasn't placed so well, so that's why there was a hole in there. All right. Well, I wish there was a way to. Can I actually just delete one point here? Is that possible? Let's see. Where is it? Can I select it? So this one, I'm kind of wondering if I can just delete this and then let the other ones join. Do you want to join them? No. Oh, did that work? Oh, yes, I think that worked. Oh, that's awesome. I wasn't sure if deleting one of the points it was gonna break the spline, but I'm guessing maybe it did not. Okay, well, let's see if we can continue on from here and place another point right here where the bridge begins. Let's see if this works. And I'm gonna try and like kind of sculpt it right up against the bridge point here. Yin Yang, yes, the water materials do have real-time reflection. That was one of the things that I was trying to get working, like actual to have lumen reflections and not just the screen space reflections. And for that, actually, what I'm using is the because you asked about the material. I am using the material from the water component. So if you go under plugins and you enable the water, so this one will get you the water surface, which is an awesome, I mean, it's a really nice material. Um, so so that's how I got that material and it's real-time reflection, so which is great. That was I felt that was very useful. All right, let's try and adjust this to be kind of like that. And then this one from here. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, oceanography, that you know, that thing is just amazing. It's just that it's a little bit out of my budget. So um and you know, another thing is, you know, a lot of things look awesome, but one thing that I try to like kind of steer clear of, especially for the project that I have, is I don't want to overdo things, right? Because it's also you know, part of it is learning, and the other part is okay, you know what? Um, I want to be able to know what's going on with that particular you know, blueprint. So, you know, or understand it a little bit better. Hopefully that makes sense. That's at least uh, my view on it. All right, let's sculpt some of this terrain. And since this one it's going to lead right into like a cliff here, I can have it so that it's you know, kind of like just a waterfall. And in a similar fashion that I had it when I first started working on this. So that's a little bit exciting for me, you know, making use of that. There we go. But yeah, I've seen the oceanology stuff, and that thing is just, yeah, it's really awesome. And there we go. Luckily, I have this material that I've made a while back that's kind of looking like a river. Uh, yeah, that was really quick, right? I mean, it's you know, I've already had this in place from a while back, you know, but yeah, you know, sculpting the terrain with the road tool up until this point here, and then you know, letting the road tool kind of you know, create the entrance to the bridge. then just sculpting around it, and that's it. So we can actually refine this a little bit since we're here before I move on any further. So I wanted to try and make this kind of like that. I think that's a little bit better. I need to update this mesh so that it doesn't have these things just hanging off of it like that. So let's see, can we... How close can I bring that in? And fall off. Let's try and make this 0. There we go. Okay, that's a little much. So 20 maybe? 20, that's better. 20, 10, 5. Okay, that's okay. Artem, yeah, I have the same point of view. Yep. And I did have success looking at Ben tutorial. Um, yeah, and that's, I think, not you, thank you for bringing up tessellation, because that's one of the, it's a little bit of a frustration point for me as well. I do not understand why they, it might have been, maybe it's due to nanite. That's why they removed tessellation, but I really don't understand if they couldn't make a better way to work that in. I guess there is some kind of like some kind of way to get tessellation working, but it's very kludgy, very yeah. Um, so, and I'm not necessarily just referring to the tessellation of on objects, but on the terrain as well. Oh wait, really? It's back on 5.2. Oh, I guess that might be a reason to update to 5. I'm thinking of I'm gonna hold off for a little bit until all the plugins that I use are gonna be migrated in 5.2. But yeah, I definitely plan on getting on 5.2. Of course, I mean just keeping up with things. But yeah, I'll hold off until they have all the plugins that I use in 5.2. With 5.2, oh yeah. I mean, I'm in no rush. There's like I have a laundry list of things to do, so it's totally fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward um to it. Come on, come on, a little bit more. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Oh, Yin Yang, boat floating around. You know what? I was kind of thinking about that. At least something to put on the side of the lake, on the side of the water. So and yeah, this is the difference. Like from the developer of this package. If you start looking down, yep, that's what happens. You know. Um, But with the water from the Unreal plugin, like the water plugin, you know, that doesn't happen. It does seem to kind of transition to a different LOD for whatever reason, you know. But yeah. Um, oh, Warsburg. What's a Warsburg? Oh, War Z. Is it War Z or Wars means something? Yeah, so with the bunker, there's actually a couple of ways of getting in. One through here, this being like a parking garage type of entrance, with some utilities, and then you get into here, or kind of a side entrance is going to be through here. which this is down, and this is actually kind of also just showing the runtime virtual textures at work, you know. This is why I really like them, you know, because without them, it would just be a hard edge. Um, and yeah, that is under the landscape. So this is the bunker here with all of its bits and pieces. And this is the second entrance. And I'm just going to tell you this, that there's going to be another one coming from this water body over here or around here. So yeah. Okay. That was hopefully that answered your question, Adlem. Oh yeah, yeah. There's if I'm not sure. I mean, Yin Yang, you probably haven't seen any of the rest of the bunker. Let me see if I can do kind of a slow-ish flyover through this. So yeah, this is kind of the parking garage. That's gonna be where the other entrance is gonna happen through. And down in here, this is like kind of a communications room here. And of course, an operable, the elevator that works. Also kind of just, this is down the stairs. Let's see. So, you know, just kind of going down in here. This is one of the bottom levels down here with another exit. Let's see. Down in here towards this end is where kind of the maintenance areas of the bunker are, you know, with like generators, some water filtration systems. And this one leads into the other exit, like the alternative exit, so to speak. Thank you, appreciate that. And above this is where kind of where the quarters are for the people, you know, like, actually, let me turn on some of these lights in here because it's kind of dark. Since we're in the bunker. So this is where one of the crew quarters is in. So just right in there. Oh yeah, there will be some particle effects, of course. And you know, like this one is like one of those you know, supply closets. Well, you interact with some folks as well. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you, Yin Yang. Yeah, so this is like the elevator shaft that I was talking about. And yeah, the other entrance, you know, kind of the alternative entrance is through here, you know, that now that I mentioned it. And this is another elevator with its elevator shaft. Oops, I went too far. I went too far. I'm going too far. There we go. Here. And that entrance is going to be through this ventilation shaft. So it's going through here. And you get to climb around here. Do a little bit of custom movement. But yeah, so in the end, this is just a ventilation shaft that's feeding into this utility area of the bunker. I've tried to make it as potentially usable as possible. And you know, since we were talking about stuff that you know, for example, this stuff here, I made this one from scratch because I wanted to have um, like a what do we call these? Like a kind of a tunnel, not tunnel, but a transition between areas in the bunker using these kind of tubular assets. So Adlem, sorry about that. How did you get that smooth transition from the hole to the mesh? I've been testing cover my bunker hole using rock, but it'll always end up looking wrong. The ladder system is actually the custom movement. If you're on the marketplace, I believe it's called custom movement. So it also has the ladder system and this kind of like the one that I shown earlier, this kind of custom climbing. So you can like grab onto these ledges and climb up. So that's the, I believe it's, like I said, I think it's called custom movement. And I've implemented it into the ALS V4 system. Yes. So um, let me see. Adlem, were you asking about the transition here? Like from here, like going into down in here? Or was there something else? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's literally just cutting a hole in the terrain. You know, like this is a visibility hole. Uh, a visibility sculpting. So basically, if you go, and that's another thing that this particular material did not have, and I had to add it to it, um, like sculpting visibility. So, you know, having done that. And then, yeah, once you place this in, you know, and you have the runtime virtual textures, it's pretty seamless blending between the two. Oh no, the mesh is it's literally just this. This is all the mesh. It could it it might have been a little bit better, and I might extend it a little bit so the hole could be made a little bit bigger. That way you don't see the terrain as you go through it. I was actually testing this in a previous stream as to, you know, passing through this and going into the bunker through this entrance. I believe this is a scanned asset. Oh no, this is this is a Sketchfab asset. Yeah. But of course, you know, I had to work on it a little bit because it wasn't. I had to make it so it had an opening because I think it was just solid. So and so this one's gonna have like a little lid on it, right? So you can interact with the lid and open it, and then and then enter into the. And of course, the transition is still not done because like yeah, it looks pretty bad here, you know, for this area, but that's easily fixable. So it's just 5-10 minutes in Blender and just get stuff so that it looks okay. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, let's jump back and finish off that. Da, 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 da. Oh, billboards. Yeah, that's a great point. There is a couple of what do I call them? Let me see where the town or the little town area is at. I do have a couple of billboards out here. You know, like this motel sign. There's like a sign for the convenience store here. Like for example, um, like a little billboard sign here. Hopefully that's what you were asking about. Fifth vertex, how does it blend so well with the terrain? So it does have runtime virtual textures. That's the thing about it. Let me see. And I can show you how it looks once you turn that off. So for example, um, this one, this is how it looks with it on. And then if you turn it off, it looks like that. So so Ellen, but you have that gray outside sand around the manhole to cover the opacity hole. Oh yeah, well, so that one, luckily, so like I said, this is a great asset that I got off of Sketchfab, and part of I want to make a tutorial as how I'm gonna do the credits at the end of the game to list all the Sketchfab assets in a dynamic way. So basically, I've created this end credits where you just add stuff to a data table, and then once the credits play, they just read out that data table. So you can add in all the credential or the all the credits for the Sketchfab asset, or other assets that are they got for free and stuff. All right, so now that I was testing this out, but I've turned off the blend with environment, and now it's not. What did I mess up the material? No, not really. Sometimes you just need to like move some things around for the runtime virtual textures to get updated when stuff like this happens. So let's see if we can. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, fifth vertex. Yeah, thank you so much for asking. So some tech about the grass is affected by the wind actor. Um, this is just it doesn't the none of my vegetation is affected by the wind actor. That's something that's a little bit more complex that I haven't looked into too much. So Adlem, that there is definitely a cost. So if you look at the shader complexity, it definitely adds quite a bit, and that's why you gotta use it, not to some extreme. And right now my landscape material is also a little complex, but so far so good. I'm trying to debate whether to cut out one of the layers to help with it, but this is how the thing looks um, with runtime virtual textures, and this is how it looks without. It should be pretty green when you don't use the runtime virtual texture. That is, if the shaders are gonna, let me see, let me jump back into here. Oh, that's kind of interesting why it doesn't update the shaders or like the stats for this. I mean, red is still good, but I'm starting to get into the bad area. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go all the way to pink, but it's still uh yeah. So that's the one thing that with runtime virtual textures, use um and it's not terrible, it's not extremely bad, but again, it's still it's an added cost, especially if you have a ton of these. So I only have for like particular items that I use. And of course, that the player can get really close. For example, with some of the rocks that I have, let's take a look since we were right down here. Like for some of these, I don't use it for like this surface because I already have some blending through the shader to add some of this kind of mulch on top. So hopefully that will help with transition a little bit. Oh yes, so Yin Yang, and you can call me Andre. You don't have to call me Guru. I'm far from that. But I have like one of those first generation 1070. I think it might be like 6 years old or something like that. Uh, Probably closing in on 7 years old. I got it used from a friend, so he had it for years before I got it, and I've had it for maybe a couple years now. And I have like one of those Intel i5 3000 something or other. It's a very old CPU as well. So that's why I'm trying to target a medium to low end machine like I do, like I have. Because if I was to probably run this on a modern computer, it would run at 80 frames per second easy. Uh, but again, I'm trying to target other folks like me. Oh wow, yeah. So how did that work, LM, when you added RVT? Did you see any impact, or was it pretty decent? Yeah, yeah, it's oh, oh my God, I got when you said it, I was like, oh my God, he got it pretty good. It sounded kind of like you were a little bit of enthusiasm about it, but I guess that wasn't the case. Well, sorry about that. And now, for whatever reason, whenever I try to sculpt the terrain, I'm not entirely sure why it's just like slowing down. It's just preparing shaders. Yeah, and this is kind of the downside of having a I think it's barely using three cores or two cores at the moment for Unreal. So compiling shaders sometimes takes a while. Not sure if streaming adds anything to it, but yeah, it's having a hard old time there. Come on. 62, 61. Oh my God. I think if I had like something that would just be a hand crank, it would still run faster. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that I'm doing as well. Like a lot of these big, even though, this could benefit from like blending with the terrain maybe a little bit, overall, I'm not sure if it's going to add anything to, the game itself or yeah, it would be a nice thing to have, but not, you know, it's not a game changer. Let's see if I can sculpt this terrain a little bit easier now, is what I'm hoping. All right, that works. I guess it was just bogged down with the shader compilation. And it seems like about that point is a pretty good point to sculpt the terrain around it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, either add more foliage or you know, one thing that I use and I keep on showing it because I found it very helpful is this IA scatter tool that I can scatter things on a line, and I might just give that a try. 2890, sculpt it a little lower. There we go. And the rest of it I can like blend in. I just want to push it further back a little bit. Um, and the other thing is, the way I have set up my um, the procedural trees is with to paint them on layers. So I'll show you real quick what I mean by that. And that can also address some of this edging. All right, so let me just work this out a little bit around this area here and do some smoothing for this. Okay, that could work there. And I think I was wanting to do some on this side as well. Yeah, so basically, when it comes to the trees, the trees themselves are only shown on a particular layer with the terrain, that one being the mulch. So if I was to paint mulch around here, I get a better chance of having vegetation spawned. Paint trees, don't that kill collisions? I use procedural foliage wrong for trees and big rocks. No, they don't. Not with procedural. It does kill it if it's um, like for example, all these vegetation, these small trees and grasses, they are spawned on the terrain layer. But if you go through the vegetation tool, you should not lose collision for the trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and paint some of this around here. So this one also provides a little bit of an easier transition into the rock, this particular layer. And now what I'm hoping is once I resimulate with the trees, so let me see which one is the tree foliage. So let's resimulate this. I'm just going to quickly save here. All right, so let's resimulate this. I want to see if there's any trees that are going to be spawned around here. That's what I'm hoping. There we go. So, having some of these trees on that edge should also help with, also the overall look, having that alongside the edge. And I'm going to extend it along this this kind of um, rock things. um, and yeah, let's also do it on this side. And I think let's finish this area, and I think we can call it good for today's stream. When you started this project, may I know and what motivates you to start making a FPS? You know what? It's just the fact that I really enjoy it. Like I enjoy it to the point of I enjoy doing this more than playing a video game. Hopefully, hopefully that makes sense. But um, yeah, I'm at that point. Oh, so and my favorite FPS, I have to say, the one that it's a tough one. I am a big fan of the Wolfenstein games, and but I also enjoy Doom, just for kind of fun. But I think if I was to choose my favorite, I would say Mafia. Um, like the Mafia series games, and especially the first one. When I played that, I think I felt that was like the best game I have ever played. From the storyline, the voice acting, and I actually bought the remake, like the remaster. Excuse me. So yeah, that's I would say that's my favorite game. Yeah, that was a lot of work put into it, and you know, um, so let's see. You need to edit the texture where the tree spawn. There is two branch that's a setting to repetitive pattern. Yeah, I'm not sure if sorry, I'm not sure if I follow that. My bad. I just didn't quite understand it. Yeah. So right here is what you were looking at. Were you seeing like a repetitive thing? And of course, this is not just going to be like a little strip alongside this. It's going to be a little bit thicker, so it's going to go in a little bit. Oh, are you talking about this branch? Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's um this particular thing is it does spawn on this particular layer. Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking at this, yeah, that definitely from like, if you go out a little bit, it definitely looks a little bit repetitive. If this is what you're looking at. But this is a mesh. It just spawns on this particular layer, like just some branches. Yeah. Oh, that's a good thought. I'll look into that. Thank you. I'll see how that turns out. All right, let me also change the texture for this guy here so that we're using the same ones. Yeah, and this is all mega scans, yeah. But it is with not with the original textures as you might be as you might have noticed. The original textures I only used um, the normal, for detail. But so that way I don't have to have a separate base color for each one of them. So they all look, because I mean, uh, they look different from yeah, well, not different, but they all look like they come from the same place, right? With a bunch of these mega scans being scanned from different areas of the world, uh, they don't always look the same. I guess there's some that are similar, but not all of them. So that's why, I'm trying to, even though I'm using different meshes from different parts of the world, using the same base color is just going to make it so that they all look consistent. Of course, you got to also think about the shape. Excuse me about that. Hopefully I didn't blow up your speakers. But they um, and of course I'm only use I think I got like four different cliff meshes like so across the world. I don't want to overdo it either. And yeah, like see for example this one has a little bit of a darker base color, and that's why it kind of looks a little bit off. And you know, right now it's um, well, the thing is, I'm not sure how that's gonna affect um, the tiling of the normal, you know, when it comes to the detail map. And but yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. I think I might look into that. I think I might have somebody else that was suggesting a similar idea. And if I recall correctly, this particular, was I able to paint foam on this? I had created this material that I was able to paint vertex foam. I think it might be this one. Let's see if it works. Ooh, this one got pretty busted. Yeah. Oh, Brushify. I saw. Are you referring to like Brushify, like the Brushify packages? I think I knew about them at one point. Yeah, yeah. I think I might have a couple of them. If I recall correctly. Whoa. Okay, that wasn't really the greatest thing there. I'll just leave it like that for now. All right. Well, this is getting close-ish to what I was hoping to have, and we can continue some of this up top to kind of make it like a little bit of a waterfall coming off of this. But I think I might keep that for next, or actually maybe tomorrow, because we do have a holiday tomorrow, and you know, time off from work, yay. So I might continue this tomorrow. You know, I just try to keep the streams at around 2 hours, just so that you know, it doesn't go too far and you know, bore people to death. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. Like I said, what I'll do today is I'll search for like the materials for like the waterfall, and also look at to into this particular like water material. It looks decent for now, um, but so, and I'll do a little bit of kind of just some blueprint work. So tomorrow we'll continue on with this, and I'll and Yin Yang, hopefully that showing that material, where to get it, hopefully that works for you. And let me know how that works. And thank you so much for the comments. I really appreciate your help, man. Appreciate that. Okay, well, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, or getting ready for Monday if it's that time. But I'll see you on the next one. Like I said, I'll try and do another one tomorrow. I'll schedule the stream maybe an hour or two in advance. So if you get to see it, perfect. All right, take care, everybody.